New York City wants the world to know it's back in business. More than a year after the pandemic shut the city down, visitors are now allowed to travel to the Big Apple. Big open arms for you here. The 5 boroughs will be full of activities all summer long. Joining us now to talk about just the myriad of things that are available is Chris Heywood, the Executive Vice President with NYC and Company. Chris, we are so glad to have you here, and I know you are looking forward to this summer. I mean, wow, right? Your NYC and Company must be so excited.
Absolutely. As I was hearing you say that, it was just complete music to my ears because, we have been waiting a very long time for the city to reopen for business. And we literally are reawakening. And it's such a joyous moment.
Yeah.
I think for so many people, not only New Yorkers, but people who have just been waiting to come to this amazing place.
So on the website, which is phenomenal, let me say you must check it out. Now, just to start things off, Chris, this is a tome of things, A to Z, what to do in New York this summer. You go over so many different opportunities, and how many people do you expect this summer?
There's so many opportunities. When you look at that list, it's like, where do I even begin to start? And even for the most jaded New Yorker, there are so many things that they could be doing. So actually, this summer is really the comeback for New York City. And actually, we're calling it the Summer of New York City. We're expecting 10 million visitors to come through Labor Day for the summer season. And
Nice.
That's more than half of the visitors that we had, capturing more than half of the visitors we had in 2019. So it's certainly a very exciting moment. I do think you are seeing incredible momentum and optimism building, and really a hunger for people to just want to get out and explore and see and enjoy the 5 boroughs.
And let's make it clear, we're not only speaking about tourists, we're talking about New Yorkers too. This information, and people in New Jersey and Connecticut, it's for all of us. It's just so complete.
It is. You think about the 8.6 million New Yorkers, it's a captive audience. But then in the wider metropolitan area, it's 20 million people. And then even domestically, it's about 80% of our usual visitation in any given year is from the U.S. domestic markets. So that market is now open. And to the extent that those travelers aren't able to go overseas in the numbers that they have in the past, that's a real opportunity for New York City to capture those visitors and to really help the businesses here in the city, whether it's the hotels, the attractions, the restaurants and retailers. It runs the gamut. And so we're looking for this summer to be an opportunity to really boost business across the city, from our iconic attractions to our small businesses.
And we're speaking of all 5 boroughs. You mentioned the sea. Let's talk about Waterfront Attractions that NYC and Company provides information. There are so many options.
There are just so many options. And if you look at the waterfront, it's really a gem of our city, which should be really called the 6th borough, because it really is, the opportunity to be on the waterfront. You can island hop, whether you're going to Governor's Island, Roosevelt Island, Randall's Island, City Island in the Bronx. There are so many opportunities to island hop right here in the city. Of course, starting with Liberty Island and the statue herself. But in addition to that, we just opened Little Island, which actually is a pier on West 13th and 14th Street on the west side in Hudson River Park. And that seems to be one of the most popular attractions right now. I recommend you get on and actually pre-book your tickets, because you do need to pre-book those for most of the hours that island is open. But that is an opportunity to be outdoors, and to be on the waterfront. And it's such a gem right here in our city.
So many people are so hungry to be outside. Any hidden spots in this long list of things?
Well, I will tell you, I always personally like Governor's Island, just because it is a short ferry ride away. It's only 7 minutes from Lower Manhattan, and you get onto this beautiful island. It's 7 miles of car-free bike trails. You're the closest place on land to the face of the statue. Yeah. They've got 4 man-made hills, and you've just got an opportunity to bask in this sort of setting that almost reminds you that you're not in New York, but you actually are. So I think that is an incredible hidden gem, and they'll have a big rosé festival later in the summer. I think it's in September, actually. So there's going to be events out there. There's art, there's dining. And it's just a place to escape. If you want to stay overnight, they even have the collective retreats where you can do some glamping right here in New York City. So I think that's really, really great.
That's nice. Just getting back to the boroughs, let's go back on land and get even more specific. Neighborhoods have so much to offer, and obviously during the pandemic, businesses have struggled. Unfortunately, some have closed. But there are so many who are just hungry for you to be hungry, speaking of restaurants and just all types of places. How do you help us with that as far as where to go?
Well, I will tell you, the cafe culture in New York City has been incredible. This whole concept of dining outdoors, this was something that we didn't do in the numbers that we're doing it now. The fact of the matter is most of these restaurants have been able to open outdoors with these beautiful sheds and being able to connect with the city. So we're going to do everything we can to really boost travel to these neighborhoods and also to frequent these restaurants. Our dining sector really needs help. And so we'll be bringing back NYC Summer Restaurant Week, starting in mid-July, and that'll go through August as well. So it's going to be a real celebration of gastronomy throughout all 5 boroughs. And we think that's just a tremendous opportunity to really help these restaurants who, they just struggled terribly during the pandemic. So this is a chance to, plan ahead, make your reservations, but take advantage of some great value.
And also, obviously, there are some places that can still require you to wear masks. So when you're checking all the information, that's important too. Not as many as before by a long shot. The film In the Heights, featuring Upper Manhattan, Lin-Manuel Miranda's one of the creators of the Broadway musical and the film, which is just, they're all over the place. That should be a draw too, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And, In the Heights is an ultimate love letter to New York City and really spotlighting a different side of New York City. We may not think of the great Latino culture that we have throughout our city, or we may not even think of going above 96th Street in Manhattan. And the neighborhood of Washington Heights is really a vibrant, pulsing neighborhood. And our goal is really to help all the businesses up there, help the small businesses, and showcase a different side of New York City, a new flavor of New York City that maybe people didn't know about. So the film is amazing. Lin-Manuel Miranda is sort of the ultimate ambassador for New York City. And the film is truly beautiful and exactly the kind of celebration that we need in this city coming out of the pandemic. So we're very, very pleased to be partnering with Warner Brothers Pictures to highlight New York City's Washington Heights neighborhood. And it's a perfect opportunity to get out there, see some of the great parks, see the United Palace Theater, frequent some of the restaurants, the small businesses. This is really what we want to do. So it's a great opportunity.
And the view too. I interviewed Lin, right when the staging of his first musical, In the Heights.
Yes.
And we walked around, the streets there, and we went into a bodega, and he, but just the view there, looking at the bridge, and you see a little bit of the river. I mean, just the topography of that area is something new for a lot of people too.
Yeah, the J. Hood Wright Park. You need to get up there and see the beautiful view of that George Washington Bridge. And there was one scene where they used the High Bridge pool for this amazing synchronization scene where everyone's out by the pool and they did this amazing dance and musical number. And it really is uplifting. So you're absolutely right. And this is a chance to reconnect with our own city.
That's just so cool. Chris Heywood, Executive Vice President with NYC and Company. And thank you so much. This is really exciting, and hope to have you back as well. Good luck. Have a great summer.
Yes, happy summer, and thank you for making it in New York City.
Yes. For more information on NYC and Company's just plethora of activities, of things to do in the city this summer, check out their website, nycgo.com.